And it was, in fact. Another Republican who maybe has less of a cozy relationship with the president, Justin Amash. In interviews this year, he's toyed with the idea of dropping the Republican Party, running for president as a libertarian, and he is still not ruling that out. Lauren, do you think that's his play here?
I mean, if he wants to get some attention and, run for president, I guess. But it
could be. I mean, he's from Michigan.
Yeah.
I have to remind you that the president barely won Michigan, kind of an important state.
It would be disruptive, for sure. And
you get every media outlet in the world.
Yeah, he would. And it would, it would pull voters away, right, from, important states. But the Libertarian Party has anywhere from 7 to 22% of the population identifying with them at any given time. They put out a press release recently that their numbers have increased by 92%.
Wow.
Because that the members of the Republican Party have dropped 5% and Democrats 7% over the respective period, and they're collecting these voters somehow. All that to say, it's not a primary against President Trump. It would, just like any third party candidate, it would pull away votes from what is already going to be a tight race for him, and so he's not going to want that. But for Justin Amash, it's not going to be any sort of real political gain. He's not going to win anything. He may just get a couple votes in a lot of media interviews.
Well, Swin, we heard in 2016, Evan McMullin could swing Utah. He could pull votes.
Gary Johnson.
He could get Gary Johnson.
Nominee at the time, right.
All these things could come. Ultimately, none of it mattered, right? it is a blip on the radar. It is. It's interesting to me.
Jill Stein may have actually swung a few of these states.
May have. There's a lot of...
Yeah, these things are up in the air. More what I'm getting at is there's no serious chance here, and it is... If anything, it is a media play. I'm not doubting he might be principled. I'm sure he definitely believes this, but there is a lot of benefit that comes.
Look, you're an interesting guy the last couple of weeks running for president. My liberal friends know you as the principled Republican. We found one because you were the one who stood up during impeachment and said, yeah, Trump did commit crimes. But now anti-Trumpers of all stripes are a little nervous because you want to run against Trump as a libertarian, and they worry, I think, that you will be taking votes from Biden and that you could be the Ralph Nader of 2020. How do you see it?
Well, I'm in it to win the race, and I'm not trying to take votes from one side or the other. I'm here to take votes from both sides, frankly, and also reach out to millions of Americans who aren't represented. In the last election in 2016, 45% of Americans didn't even vote. So there's a big pool of people out there, and I'm going to reach out to all of them. And I'm presenting a very different vision for the country, too. I'm a libertarian. I believe in limited government. I believe government is overreaching in so many ways, and it's violating our rights when it does this. The fact that we don't have a representative government is a violation of our rights. Congress doesn't even work anymore. You have a few leaders who get together and they negotiate with Steve Mnuchin or someone else in the administration, and they tell us, here's the deal, and vote yes or no. And people are sick of that, and I think that's leading to a lot of the polarization out there.
Okay. Well, third-party candidates, you always have your story, and it's always similar, and it's always nuts because, third-party candidates never win in this country. But okay, if you're not worried about tipping the election...
You need the right kind of candidate. You need a candidate who can go and get the message out to the people and is approachable and presentable. I think a lot of times when you have third-party candidates come in, they are coming from left field a little bit. And it's good to have a candidate out there who can present the message in a way that most people find approachable. And if you spend time with me and over the course of this campaign, I think you're going to find that I'm the normal guy, the regular guy, and these other two guys are the buffoons.
I'm sure you're aware, Congressman, there's been a lot of pushback from both sides of the aisle, to be fair, on you getting into this race. I want to actually play for you something former Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill said on Morning Joe today. Watch this.
The noise you heard yesterday was a confetti cannon going off in the White House when Justin Amash announced that he was running for president. Every single anti-Trump vote needs to be focused on the viable candidate for president. Every single one. We do not have room for error in this election. This is no time for a Ross Perot or a Jill Stein or a Ralph Nader.
Congressman, tell the American people why she is wrong. In 2016, third parties got about 6% of the popular vote, one of the several factors that many analysts say helped Donald Trump pull off his upset against Hillary Clinton.
Well, I think there's a factual mistake there. I mean, we don't know who people will vote for. It's impossible to say whether more people will vote for Biden or Trump if I'm in the race or not in the race. So I think there's a big factual issue there. But more important, we want to give the American people more choices. This is about democracy. It's about representative government. And the idea that we're going to tell people, hey, we can't have another choice on the ballot because it might upset one or the other candidate, that's pretty ridiculous. And I will hear from lots of Trump supporters as well who say, oh, you're helping Joe Biden. So to be honest about this, if people want to vote for someone, they should vote for that person. And if they don't want to vote for that person, don't vote for that person. But don't attempt voter suppression, essentially, by denying people more candidates on the ballot. That seems really ridiculous and, frankly, anti-American.
Well, but the bottom line of this, though, Congressman, people vote based on who represents what they care most about and these issues. So where is your base of support? It's hard to see how you would get any any Trump voters, since, as you mentioned, you have been an outspoken critic of the president. But let's be honest, you're also a conservative who voted against Obamacare. You're against universal health care. You're anti-abortion. You don't exactly line up with Joe Biden or the Democratic Party either. So people are going to vote on the issues that matter to them. And I'm asking you, there doesn't seem to be a lot of people who are lined up with where you stand on these issues.
Actually, I think you're making the case for the candidacy. There are millions of Americans who aren't represented by either Donald Trump or Joe Biden, who aren't represented by the Republicans or the Democrats. And those millions of Americans deserve a choice on the ballot. And it's pretty silly to say, well, we shouldn't allow another candidate to be on the ballot. We just want to have these two candidates. And in fact, the way we got Donald Trump is because every Republican who didn't like Donald Trump was told insistently, they were told, you must vote for Donald Trump because he's the Republican nominee and you have to vote for the Republican. Similarly, people are being told today on the Democratic side, you have to vote for Joe Biden, and Republicans are being told you have to vote for Donald Trump again. That's not the way the system is supposed to work. We're supposed to have a system where the people are represented, and there are millions and millions of people, I would say the plurality of Americans, who are not well represented by either of these two parties or either of these two candidates, and they deserve an opportunity to vote for someone that they want to win.